I'm so thankful and grateful to Mary Pat Wallace for having us. And if you want to give a brief introduction, I'll let her kick it off in this space.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Yeah.
So, to give everybody a little background, Kimberly and I have known each other for a long time. And Kimberly embarked on sort of her new life mission, and it is beHue consultation and incorporating what we can do in design in our lifestyle to help us support a healthier lifestyle. And besides the usuals that we all think of, diet and exercise, Kimberly understands the value of sleep, because in most research these days, sleep is actually one of the key foundations to a long and healthy life. Mm-hmm. If you're not sleeping, all those other things that you're doing, the extra working out, eating organic food, if you're only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep at night, those other things you're doing, you're not supporting it. Mm-hmm. So I think we talk a lot about this because, especially super busy people, I think the challenge is you get to the end of your day, your mind has got so much on it. There's so many things that were undone. How do you create a routine to get you in that quiet place to allow your body to fall asleep? Mm-hmm. So I thank Kimberly for being here today, for walking you all through her new life mission and how it's helping so many people add that third foundation to a long and healthy life, which is sleep, how to get better sleep. So I'm going to let Kimberly present her presentation, and I'll move out of the way so she can take her mask off and will be easier to understand. Well, so thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mary Pat. I could not have said it better. And like she said, not only have we known each other, hello, not only have we known each other for years, working together in many different industries. She used to come to my yoga classes, and she is phenomenal at yoga. So quick plug. Yes, because she does phenomenal handstands and headstands. So if you ever want to see a trick from Mary Pat, just ask her that at a party. But I just thank you again so much to everyone for coming. As Mary Pat mentioned, my name is Kimberly Writt with beHue, and I am here today to talk to you about sleep, but more importantly, the fundamentals of creating a healthy mental space prior to falling asleep. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Feel free to put it on speaker view. If you go to your upper right hand corner where it says view and click speaker, then you won't have to see everyone else. So I'm just going to do that now and share my screen. So I can present. Can someone just comment and let me know that you can see this, or give me a thumbs up? Awesome. Okay, so today, like I said, we're talking about sound sleep. And a lot of times when you think about sound sleep, you immediately think, about rest and what that incorporates, but you don't always think about the mind and where the mind goes prior to falling asleep. So we will definitely touch on that today. And it's really about incorporating self-love and self-care into your routine. And I talk about this now. We thought it was great timing with Valentine's Day. Even if you think it's a cheesy holiday, there's a lot of elements to it that just are great reminders that self-love is really important, especially during this time. So again, thank you so much to Chicago Luxury Beds, Mary Pat, and to Jill Merrimont, who I know is on this call with River North Design District. I am so thankful to you both for having me, and especially to the design community. You inspired this brand, and this is all for you. So hopefully you will get as much out of this as I put into it. So what we'll cover today is a little bit about me and my background, what prompted me to launch beHue, what impacts good sleep, self-care practices, and then we'll end with a loving kindness meditation. If you've never meditated a day in your life, do not be intimidated. It is very short and sweet, just to give you a taste of what this, how powerful this can be for you. And then we'll end with a brief Q&A. So what is beHue? My background is in marketing PR, over a decade of experience representing top interior real estate and architecture brands and just naturally gravitating toward this industry. And what I really noticed in doing that while simultaneously getting certified in yoga, meditation, wellness coaching, is that there were a lot of parallels and overlaps in the two industries. So my main mission with beHue, which just launched in January, my baby, is I look to empower home and design professionals and enthusiasts to increase energy, improve mental clarity, and overcome stress, ultimately to heighten your personal curb appeal or your personal presence and attract like-minded people and clients. So the three main ways I do that are through wellness coaching for individuals and groups, as well as speaking engagements such as this, and also yoga and meditation, both private practice and with groups in business settings. So beHue is really a play off of beHue infused with color. The whole concept behind that, I'm sure if most of you are in design, you've taken color theory and you know all there is to know about color, but my brand really focuses more on color psychology and how color can really impact different areas of your well-being. So color is wavelengths of light, and each color has its own frequency, just like we as humans have operated at our own frequencies and are attracted to other people and colors because of their frequencies. So I want you to think about that as we go through this exercise, and it'll make a little bit more sense in a minute. But I just included, I'll keep this up while I continue to talk. These are just some attributes and personality traits of different colors. This doesn't necessarily mean if you gravitate to this color that means that's your personality. It can either contribute to something that you are really thriving in, or it could be something that you're lacking in. So that really relates to these three areas that color impacts our well-being and that I focus on in my program, which are energy, nutrition, and surroundings. So energy, like I mentioned, it can inform your chakra needs, which are the points, energy points along your body. And one example I can give here is if you naturally gravitate toward the color green, or in a certain period of your life, you felt really strongly about green, that could be an indication that your fourth chakra on Hatha, your heart chakra, is either overwhelmed and really you're abundant, full of love, you're really welcome and open to new people, or it could mean that that chakra is closed and you're a little bit more standoffish, you have a wall up, and it could be something that you just want to be a little bit more mindful of. So that really relates to energy. And then nutrition, they always say eat a colorful plate. There's a reason for that. The more color you incorporate into your diet, it is likely that you will feel better, look better, radiate, and it's just really important to take note of that as you eat and surround yourself with those different foods. And also seasonally, so make sure to eat seasonal vegetables and fruits and things that are in season. And then surroundings, it doesn't just mean design. It can be what you're attracted to when you go on a walk in nature. It's really how the surroundings in your life impact your mood and your well-being. So this is something that often gets overlooked when you're so busy and you're working. Like I said to Mary Pat when I sat up here, I'm fine setting up on a bed because I actually work from home in a bed all the time, which isn't necessarily the best for you. But I think when you're in this rat race, especially in this time, you're not necessarily paying as close attention to your surroundings as you could be. So the main reason with my brand that I attracted or focused on design is really twofold. I think designers are so used to focusing on form and function, and they can create these beautiful spaces that are incredible in form and may appear functional, but may not be as functional to the well-being of its occupants. And by that, I mean, it could be a really comfy chair, but if it's not a chair that you can properly sit up and work from home, or that you can relax and read a book in, is it serving your greater well-being? So I talk about that a lot in my program. And then industry demands, this correlates to a lot of industries in actuality, but I think I've been around designers for so long, and I know you care so deeply about your clients and you spend countless hours looking for those perfect, areas in the home and in CAD and doing all the programs and things you need to do to bring this house or this surrounding or this space to life. And at times it's at the cost of your own well-being. And that could be lack of sleep. That could be, just overwhelming stress. And so I think it's really important to take note of that and to be mindful as we continue to walk through this presentation, what things really stick out to you and you're like, yeah, that's me. I can relate to that. So how does this relate to sleep? Sleep is an integral part of well-being. We all need sleep to survive, just like we need food and water. And I think when it comes to health and wellness, it's one of the biggest things that gets overlooked. And one of the statistics that I found really interesting, there's obviously so many out there about sleep, is adults who receive less than 7 hours of sleep are more likely to experience chronic health conditions and be physically inactive. And with me, in my program, there's so much in my program that has to do with movement, and movement can be as light and airy as going for a slow walking meditation to a high cardio workout, whatever it is. But if we get stuck in this sedentary lifestyle that we've all become pretty accustomed to in the last year, over time, it not only impacts our sleep, but it impacts our long-term health. So that's one thing that just really stuck out to me when I was trying to locate a good statistic that really highlights sleep and its impact. And some key contributors to non-restful sleep. I'm sure you've heard of restful versus non-restful sleep, but there truly is a difference. And a couple things that stood out to me in my research were stress, anxiety, ruminating thoughts, processed sugar, caffeine and alcohol. We were just talking earlier about when in the day you should cut caffeine off. Personally, I think 3 p.m. I know that sounds awful to some people, but even alcohol, try to do it before 7 p.m. Access light. No one needs to tell you to put your phone in another room or to leave your computer out of your bedroom. Those are simple things that anyone can relate to and understand. And then consuming large meals or too many beverages close to bed. Again, try to incorporate those things in moderation near bedtime. So even close to 7 p.m., try to cut back where you can, because that really can impact inflammation, the way you digest food and drinks, and how often you get up to use the bathroom throughout the night, which can disrupt that that restful sleep and that REM stage. So when we say restful sleep, what does that mean? Quality sleep, according to sleep.org, is falling asleep under 30 minutes or less, sleeping soundly through the night with one or less interruption, and the ability to fall back asleep in under 20 minutes. Personally, I've had sleep issues my whole life. I have a very active mind. I'm always excited for the next day. And these statistics were like crazy to me. But I think keeping them in mind in moderation, obviously you're not going to have a good night of sleep every night, but try to just take note of these and notice things that stick out to you as you experience these different levels of sleep. So what are the main benefits of good sleep? Internal organs rest and recover, tissues repair, muscle growth, protein synthesis, release of hormones that regulate metabolism and stress, memory consolidation so that you can make new memories. And this really plays into my mission statement: increased energy, heightened alertness, focus, and creativity, which is so important, especially in your space, in your industry. And this is the one that speaks clearly or clearest to me. It clears away all conditioning to let your mind revert back to its baseline. And that really is love. It doesn't always have to mean love for yourself, which it should first, but it can mean love for others. But there should always be a moment before you fall asleep where you feel love, where you feel grateful, where you feel abundant. So we'll talk about that as we continue. But that really leads into the main point. And I'm going to repeat this twice. So if you're starting to fall asleep, pay attention right now. Hopefully you're not. But what is the root cause of poor sleep? Feeling as though you do not deserve to rest. I'm going to say it again. feeling as though you do not deserve to rest is the cause of poor sleep. And this really stems from your inability to feel worthy of good sleep and to fully shut down. And it could be you telling yourself that you need to send one more work email, that you need to go check on your kids one more time, that you forgot to turn the oven off. It could be all of these things that are distracting you, traffic outside, whatever it is. But if you're able to mindfully zone in, not zone out, zone in to that happy place in your heart and to your breath and to your mind that can calm you and get you into that parasympathetic state, that is when you are ready to sleep. So that being said, sleep is really about the 3 S's. First one, self-aware. Second one is self-care. And then once you are able to accomplish those 2, you reach self-love. So what that looks like is really adjusting your mindset, right? It's trusting that you are allowed to step away. It's not selfish. You're allowed to shut down. You're allowed to center and ground yourself, and everything else can wait. There's nothing that can be solved at 10:30 or midnight or whatever that cannot wait until the next day. So what that really means is focusing more on your parasympathetic, like I just mentioned, that calm state where you really truly are able to slowly wind down, versus that sympathetic, which is when you're really in that fight or flight, constant ruminating thoughts. What should I do now? Should I have done this? Should I have handled this conversation at work this way? Shut it down. So open awareness versus focused awareness. Open awareness is when you are light, you're airy, you're open, you are aware of your surroundings, but you aren't directly impacted by them. And you are able to just kind of allow things to come into play and to come out, and just continue to go about your day in a way that is productive and self-serving. Focused awareness goes back to those ruminating thoughts or that attachment. So if there's something that happened in your day that you just can't kick, you're like, why do I keep thinking about this? That is focused awareness. And that is something that can really deter you from shutting down and calming everything down. And labeling comes into play with thoughts, or with thoughts and things. But in meditation, which we'll do later on, it's really about assessing and welcoming your thoughts, good or bad, as they come in, and just labeling them as thoughts, because thoughts are ultimately separate from who you are as an individual. So just allowing your thoughts to come in and come out, and not heavily relying on that thought. So labeling things is when you really focus on, oh, my husband forgot to take out the trash, which my husband forgets to take out the trash a lot. And I'm going to sit here and really just label him as, hopeless or whatever it is. I mean, I don't actually think that, but it's where you label a situation, or you catastrophize a situation into something that it's really not, and it's really more situational. So it's allowing yourself to separate those 2 things and narrow in on just allowing your thoughts to pass. So when it comes to self-care, this is really those action items that you're able to commit to after you become self-aware. So it can be literally anything. The list goes on. I just listed a few here that really help me. And if you're a person that loves massages or, luxury things, it could be that version. For a lot of people, self-care is actually helping others. It brings you joy to help others. So I think that's something that people don't always recognize. It doesn't always have to be all about you. And then some things that I really enjoy that I think are good for mind, body, and soul are very light stretching. It doesn't need to be a full-on, 60-minute workout. It can be 10 minutes of just incorporating those light movements into your body and mind, as well as lymphatic drainage, which can be done with a foam roller, which is so good for decreasing inflammation and increasing circulation and blood flow throughout your body. Because a lot of times when we're sitting all day and then we sleep, our body and our blood flow gets a little bit disrupted. So that's super important. And there's a lot of cool new tools too. If you look up lymphatic drainage, of things you can do, easily purchased on Amazon, that are really good for working out those muscles and your fascia. And then some people really enjoy a long bath or shower. There's something about the elements, the water falling on you, that kind of cleanses and helps you get through anything you're working through before you lay your head on the pillow. So the last thing I'll say here, I put reading positive content. How many people, you don't actually need to raise your hand, but how many people have you talked to, or do you experience yourself, that are really into murder mysteries or reading the news or doing really negative things right before they go to bed? It's like, I can't tell you how detrimental that is to your mental health, because that will be all you think about or subconsciously dream about if that's, in your habits. So I highly recommend, even if you do that up until 8 p.m., try to reserve even 10 minutes to like read a short story or poem or chapter, or watch an uplifting show, whatever it is. Try to incorporate more positivity right before you sleep. So once you're able to get to this self-aware and self-care series, you can reach the self-love state, which is the ultimate goal. And that is when you really start to recognize that it all starts from within. All these external factors that you think are impacting your sleep, it's really inside yourself. So you need to feel worthy, and that goes back to feeling as though you do not deserve to rest. You need to feel worthy of that sleep. You need to feel worthy of being able to reset, rest your mind, body, and soul, so that you're able to really fully get to that restful state of sleep, and in turn be more present for yourself and for others. So a lot of people talk about gratitude lists. Yes, I think they're important. I don't have anything against them, but I feel like often they only focus on things or other people. And again, going back to this rule that it is not selfish to have gratitude and love for yourself. And I highly encourage everyone to go home tonight, or you don't need to write it down, even just list in your head before you lay down 5 things that you love about yourself. And they can be as simple as, I had a really great hair day today. I mean, I don't know, or it could be, I'm really kind. I think isn't it do a kind act today? I don't know, some kindness holiday today. But it should be something that you recognize in that day, because each day there should be even 1 to 5 things that you love about yourself. And that's where we're getting to. And that's where you really get to ground zero and you start to focus on what's really important. So making a gratitude list about yourself. And then meditation and breathing exercises, which we'll touch a little bit on in our loving kindness meditation, and visualization and manifestation. A lot of people are interested in manifestation, but don't necessarily know how to practice it. And I think it's really important to do your research and to evaluate what works for you. A lot of people enjoy writing things down, and I do strongly believe that writing things down can help you achieve your goals. But other people are completely fine getting into that meditation visualization zone and essentially imagining where they will be in that dream spot. So it could be a promotion at work. It could be a vacation when we're able to travel again, wherever it is. It's focusing again back to the positive and creating this space in your mind to go there, to allow yourself to go there. So the last thing here is really, once you fine tune all of these things, have one phrase or one thing that you repeat back to yourself. And we'll do that when we meditate today. But think about this now. I'm happy to share mine. This is something I say to myself when I'm in doubt, when I'm in fear, when I'm just having kind of an off day, or I'm pressed for time and I need to just like give myself a quick boost, a quick positive, whatever it is. I just say, you got this, girl. Like, I literally look at my face in the mirror and I say it out loud. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but sometimes it takes that to fully believe it. And You can say it once, you can say it 3 times, but whenever you're in that state, create your own. It can be short and sweet, and have that be your life mantra. Have that be something that you're constantly saying to yourself. And that can also apply to when you're falling asleep. If you are able to get to that calm state, but you're constantly being distracted, create a mantra that just blocks it all out. Create a mantra that tells yourself that it's okay to rest and to have that time for yourself. So obviously, with design and surroundings in mind, setting the scene and creating an environment and safe space to rest is entirely important. And so 3 things I recommend is finding your nook. And that's really just a safe space where you can spend 5 or 10 minutes decompressing before you lay down. It can be in your bed if you're able to, shut your screen off, have the lights down low, and maybe do a quick meditation or just breathing exercise or read a book, whatever it is. Or it could be another space in your home where you close the door away from your husband, your wife, your kids, whatever it is, your dog, and you just focus and you slow down and you relax. So I highly recommend that. Paying attention to sensory details is huge. Lighting a candle, taking a bubble bath with a scent that you love, tasting, a sweet piece of dark chocolate, or we were talking about tea earlier. I really like turmeric ginger tea because it's good for digestion and it also has no caffeine, so it helps you wind down. And thinking about the lights, the scenery, everything around you, really creating that ambiance for rest. And then the last thing to go along with my brand, beHue, I fully believe that incorporating color in everything you do is important, but especially when you go to sleep, introducing that one thing that really brings you joy and brings you back to that mindset. So that's really based on your color preference in that season or during that day, and they can easily change. But it could be as simple as going to water a plant before you go to sleep, because being close to green or to brown, which is a grounding color, helps you think of nature and helps you feel grounded. It could be spraying lavender on your pillow, because purple is all about connecting to a higher being and to your spiritual sense. It's really what you want it to be, but knowing that color is so important. And if you just think about this as you go to sleep, it can definitely impact your mood and your mindset. So biggest thing, because we've been talking about sleep this whole time, what's equally, if not more important as how you fall asleep, is how you show up the next day. So notice I say show up, not wake up, because you can wake up in the worst mood ever. Maybe you did not sleep that well. But if your mindset is in a safe space and in a good place because you practiced those things before you fell asleep, you can redirect that focus and you can show up in a way that's not only present for yourself, but it's present for your family, your friends, your colleagues, your potential clients. And it really sets you up to just feel that good energy. So one thing I learned in meditation teacher training, which if anyone here has ever been to Chill in Chicago, I did my teacher training there. I'm pointing because it's actually located like right behind the showroom, close to the Merchandise Mart. And one of the instructors there, Kimberly Writt, is phenomenal. She shared this little mantra with me, and I've taken it with me ever since. And she said her mom taught her, when you wake up, ask yourself this question: what happiness will come today? And as simple as that is, I think about this every single day. And even if I have 95% bad day, that 5% happiness is what I choose to hold on to and what I constantly think about in the back of my head, so that I feel that that day was worth it, and that every day is worth it. But especially if you're able to connect to that, you will start to notice how much it impacts your general well-being. So with that, I would absolutely love to test this out with a loving kindness meditation. I put our little mantra here, but I will say it multiple times, so don't feel like you need to memorize it. But I would love for you all to find either a comfortable seat, and feel free to turn your camera off for this portion if you don't want anyone else to see you. It won't bother me. But feel free to find a comfortable seat, either, you know, on your chair. If you'd like to lay down on your back, you certainly can. And really just start to root your glutes or your lower back, however you're in this position, down. And stack your shoulders over your hips if you're sitting. Otherwise, just lay flat and relax your arms down by your sides. And everyone, take a big inhale as you shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Feel any tension from the day. Notice where you're holding that tension. And then on your exhale, just push your shoulders back and down. Take an inhale through your nose, fill up your lungs, squeeze your shoulders up. Exhale, push them back and down. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower back and down. Then with your hands, if you're sitting, feel free to rest them on your knees or rotate them up to receive a little bit more energy. If you're laying down, just place them palm facing down or up. And everyone, take a big inhale. On your exhale, close your eyes. Just start to slowly melt into your mat or into your chair. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, relax your glutes. Take a big inhale with your eyes closed. Feel your belly rise. Channel into that diaphragmatic breath. On your exhale, feel your chest expand. Start to slow down your heartbeat. Just connecting to the quiet air around you. Notice as thoughts start to knock on the door, try to make their way in. Come back to that idea of labeling and just acknowledge and welcome those thoughts in, and allow them to pass. Continue to breathe here, filling up your belly on the the inhale, and allowing your chest to expand on the exhale. Notice your lower half start to get heavy. Allow that to crawl up into your ribs and your chest. Really melt your shoulders down. Allow your eyelids to get heavy. Just continue to take slow and controlled breaths here. Begin. Oh.
Jackson Gaddy out there for the Cougars.
Oh, someone has their microphone on. If you don't mind turning it off. Everyone else, just continue to breathe. Begin to channel back into this idea of self-love. And focus on the three main W's. The first of which being, I am well. In this moment in time, we've all been through a lot. There are a lot of things that have prevented us from fully living the life we want to live right now. But in this moment, you are here and you are well. You are well enough to listen, to absorb, and to reach that level of meditation and focus. So appreciate that wellness. Take a big inhale and slow, controlled exhale. The second W is willing. In this moment, you are willing to learn more and to absorb and to be well. You are willing to invite new mindful practices that allow you to calm down prior to sleep and re-energize for the next day. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let it go. The third W, the most important W here, is worthy. Note all the times that you tried to fall asleep and you did not feel worthy of that rest. Put them in the past. Focus on this moment, here and now, as well as the present. Know that you are deserving and worthy of rest. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Just for a few moments of silence, continue to repeat the 3 W's in your mind. I am well. I am willing. I am worthy. Continue to breathe. Take a few more inhales and exhales here. Keeping your mind slow and steady. Allowing your breath to flow in and out. Then, in honor of Random Acts of Kindness Day, remembered what it was. Let's take this newfound self-love energy and spread it out into the world. Locate in your mind one person that could use this mantra, that has gone through rough times, inability to sleep, or just needs a little boost in their spirit. And say quietly in your mind, you are well. You are willing. You are worthy. Imagine their reaction when they receive this energy and this love. Soak that in. Take a big inhale, fill up. Slow open mouth exhale. With your eyes still closed, place one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach. Spread your fingers wide to feel your finger pads push into your chest. Feel that inner connection. Say the mantra one more time in your head on your own. As you inhale, feel your belly rise. As you exhale, feel your chest expand. And then bring your hands to heart center. Plant your thumbs directly between your chest bone. Push just your pinky and your thumb together, and then lightly open your other fingers, allowing this lotus flower shape to take form. Lotus is a mudra that helps you be more open to new experiences. And when placed directly into that heart center, allows you to form a deeper connection within. So in this lotus mudra, say the mantra one more time in your head. Then take a big inhale through your nose. Slow open mouth exhale. Begin to feel yourself come back to the present, whether you're sitting or laying down. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. If you're not already sitting, everyone come up into a tall seat. Push your finger pads back together into that heart center. Keep your hands at heart center. One more time, seal in that intention. Big inhale. Exhale, release. Bring your thumbs up to forehead center to rest between your eyebrows. Bow down in gratitude. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. So that was a short and sweet loving kindness meditation. It's not only meant to apply to how you feel about yourself, but just like we've been talking about this whole time, when you get to that point of self-love and you're able to sleep, you show up the next day and you're more present for others. So it's spreading the love out to others in a way that's relatable and that really helps them gravitate back to it. And if I have to leave you with a few takeaways and then we'll do Q&A, pay attention to color. It can be black and white. It doesn't have to be rainbows, but pay attention to the colors that you're attracted to on specific times of specific days and notice why, and notice if there's something you need to pay a little bit more attention to. Set up your space. Your space can be a mess. It can be tidy. It can be whatever it is, but it needs to serve your well-being. It needs to help you feel good and to help you function at your highest frequency. So think about that, and think about that with your clients too. And practice self-aware and self-care to reach self-love. They really must come in that order, and it really must start from within. So you have to be willing and open to practice it. And lastly, know you deserve it. You all deserve to feel it. And I think we've all been preconditioned to get down on ourselves through all of this. And it's super important to remind yourself that you are worthy and you deserve it. So thank you guys so much. I am going to leave this little board up here too. If you want to jot down, I'd be happy to talk to anyone about what I offer in my program. I left the link there to sign up for a free consult, as well as my website, email, and Instagram. But I'd love to open up the floor to questions. Anyone have any questions? Let me put it back to...
I have a question. I have a hard time coming up with mantras for myself. Any good resources that you recommend?
Yeah.
For some mantras that I could use.
Absolutely. So, if you do meditation or you follow, any virtual meditations right now, there's so many good ones. One in particular or one woman, I should say in particular, that I have really been gravitating to lately is Sahara Rose. She has a podcast. She also just launched a book called Discover Your Dharma. And your Dharma is essentially your deeper life purpose. And just pulling nuggets from her book and her podcast and kind of morphing them into my own mantras has helped me a lot. There's also so many good meditation apps. Chill, I mentioned Chill earlier. Chill Anywhere has fantastic resources. The Calm app is great. And I think it's less about looking for it and kind of more about allowing it to come to you. Like in that moment of fight or flight or that stressful moment, what are the words or the phrase that will calm you down? So it will come to you. You just have to be open to it. Anyone else?
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
Yeah, I have one.
What is your color?
Did Christine say that?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know if it was Jill or Christine. I mentioned green because I gravitate to green a lot. If I want to be technical with it, I've always loved chartreuse. I don't know why, but I think it's the energy of green mixed with the energy of yellow. And it was one of the colors in my wedding bouquets. And, I've just always been attracted to it. Lately, I've been really into orange. And it's just, it depends on the mood, but I think it's also seasonal things can impact what colors you're attracted to too. So what is your color? Do you not know?
Actually, I do really like the green that's in your slideshow.
Oh, thank you.
That's one of my favorites.
Awesome. Well, great. And you can scroll back up if you want to see some of those personality traits attached to color. Jill, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. So what would you recommend in terms of like turning screen time off? Like how far away from sleep should you do that?
I'm really glad you asked that, because I have a trick that I just taught myself that's so powerful. Not only is it great, obviously, to put your phone in a different room or your computer in a different room. If you have an Apple Watch, I mean, honestly, Apple Watches are awful for sleeping. Do not sleep with those on. Try to put all of it away. And if even like buying an old school alarm clock can help, but if you need to set an alarm and put it far enough away where you're not tempted to look at it, the biggest thing that I've found is more helpful even so than that is when you wake up in the middle of the night, which let's face it, we all wake up occasionally throughout the night, do not look at your phone. Like, do not look at anything that has a timestamp on it. And I say this because there will never be a good time to wake up. Like, if it could be 2 a.m. and you went to bed at 12 and you're like, oh, I've only been sleeping for 2 hours. Or it could be 4 a.m. and you're like, oh, I have to get up in an hour for my workout class. There's always going to be a negative thought that's associated with looking at the time in the middle of the night. So as hard as it is, allow your body to rest, rely on your alarm, and just do not look at your phone or your clock. And obviously the blue light, if you look at your phone in the middle of the night, it's going to wake you up anyway. So it's just a good practice and something that's really been helping me. Anyone else?
Hi, this is Wilbur. How are you?
Hi, Wilbur. Nice to meet you. I'm great.
You too. First thing, I want to thank you so much for mentioning looking at the time, because sometimes when I wake up, I do experience that negativity. Like, oh my God, it's 4:30 in the morning. Why am I up? I have this to do, all that. So I want to thank you for that. So I'll try not looking at the time.
Great.
Secondly, I know you talk about setting up your space and that sort of thing, especially as it relates to meditation time.
Yeah.
And I have some friends who have told me that, one says that she uses candles, and another guy told me that he uses like he collects things, and so he'll take some of his collection and put it around, and that signals him that he's in his meditation time or whatever. Why is that type of thing important? And are there any other suggestions for some things? Say, like, what if I'm not home and I can't really collect my things or light candles? What are some other things that I could do to, take that break and get a meditation time?
Yeah, I think that I love that question. Thank you so much for asking it. And I think it's so important because it's so individual to the person, because it's really what helps you get into that mindset. Personally, I had a hard time connecting with meditation for years. I could not turn my brain off, no matter how many doors I shut or, places I just could not get there. And the thing that really helped me, was getting really comfortable. So, don't follow the rules on Yoga Journal or whatever you're looking at. Get where you're comfortable. It could be lying down in your bed. Some people like to do it when they first wake up or when they're trying to fall asleep. It could be seated in a cushion with a blanket around you and a candle lit. I think what you're referencing toward those kind of like mementos or things that tie you to good memories really kind of help you get to that positive space in your mind and help you go to other places that you might not normally go if you were in a blank canvas, a white room or a area where there could be distractions or a ticking clock on the wall. So I do think sometimes having those things that are attached to certain memories are great. In terms of doing things in a meditative state when you're not in your safe zone or your quiet nook, breathing exercises. So I won't do it right now, but I'll tell you how to do it. One thing that's great is counting breath. So basically all you do, let's say you're stuck in traffic in your car and you are getting there, like you are getting angry, you're ready to feel that road rage, and you're just like, where do I take this energy? Practice
Yes.
counting breath. You're like, I know that feeling. Yes. So it's basically sitting there, and alignment is always key. If you're slumped over, like, I'm cranky right now. Like, always sit up straight. If you're going to meditate or you're going to breathe, like, think about that, because it helps you also with your diaphragmatic breath, where you're really breathing from your stomach rather than your slumped shoulders. But counting breath is just closing your eyes, getting back to that meditative state like we did. Well, not closing your eyes if you're driving, but starting to count your breath. So physically count out loud or in your head: in for 1, out for 1, in for 2, hold at the top, out for 2, hold at the bottom, in for 3, down for 3. So technically you can go all the way up to 8. If you're not used to practicing it, I would practice it first, not driving, and make sure that you can handle it, because sometimes it can bring up some emotions. I like 5. I think that's a good mid number, but it seems simple, but try it and you will notice that it kind of it like pushes everything away. You're focusing on this one tangible thing, which is your breath. And that is the only thing that matters in that moment. So try that. Trying to think of does that answer your question?
Oh, yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thanks, Wilbur. Nice to meet you. Anyone
And you
else?
too.
Thanks.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So as far as the color spectrum, we spend a lot of time in our homes. So right now, if we're spending some adequate time in our haven space, which is going to be our bedroom, what would you suggest if we're going to pick a color to start the new year with? What would you suggest?
Yeah, so there are a ton of great books out there right now about color theory, color psychology, and a lot of the ones that correlate with design talk about blues and greens in the bedroom, because blues and greens blues are really zen, calming. They bring a very nurturing energy, and greens are very they associate with nature. So even though you're inside, it can help you feel like you're closer to outside, or even just getting a plant can help you feel that connection. Bolder colors are tough in the bedroom because they will distract you, and it's okay to have accent colors, but even a stark white bedroom, maybe, and by all means, if that's your color, go for it. But I think those blues, greens, even sometimes some subtle yellows are really great, and you don't need to redecorate your entire space. It can be a piece of art. It can be a throw blanket. It can be a decorative pillow, whatever it is, something that helps you, just reminds you of that color. And it's like, okay, this energy is what I need right now to slow everything down and just to rest. Last thing I'll say is the totally blanking on the salt lamps, which are kind of like a orangey melon color. They actually it's a mineral, so it exudes energy. It is a natural energy resource. There's a lot of controversy about them. I personally think they work. I have one in my bedroom, and they're great to turn on instead of a table lamp or your phone, because it's just a more natural light. So yeah, hopefully that helps.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what's your color? What is your color for your space?
I think I mentioned this earlier. I love green. I have a lot of green throughout my home, but is your
room green now?
There is some green in my room. My room is it's a lot of greens, whites, and creams, mixed with a little bit of, I don't even know, trying to visualize my room right now. But I think, at times I'm like, oh, I really want to put this like punchy throw a blanket in here, or this crazy pillow. And then as soon as I put it in there, I'm like, like it's not working. So I think it's choosing areas in your home where you want to be bold, but knowing that your bedroom should allow you to feel calm. It should be restful. And if it's not, then you might need an update.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Anyone else?
Sure. You mentioned that salt lamp. I
Mhm.
actually just saw one at Bloomsbury Market. It's like a 5-pound salt lamp.
Yep.
How do they work and what are they supposed to do?
Yeah, so it's a salt mineral. So it's actually comes from the earth. So it's exuding natural light, and it's a more resourceful energy that you can get, or it's a better source of energy and light that you can get versus a table lamp where it's you know, synthetic light.
Ah, I see. Okay, as
Yeah.
a substitute.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same concept as if people say they hold crystals when they meditate, or
Mhm.
you know, it's the
Ah, okay.
thing.
And does it have the same effect as, say, there's some places you can go and they have like the salt rooms, or the like there's a Korean day spa that had, well, a Korean spa that has the different rooms, and one of them is a like a salt or mineral room. Is that the
Yeah.
same type of
First of all,
thing?
I want to know where this is because I want to go.
It's in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's called Jeju, Jeju.
Oh
We
my
have
gosh,
one in Chicago called King Spa if you're looking to go to a place here.
what neighborhood is it in?
King Spa, it's up north. So
Okay.
if you're looking to go a place here, there is a cold room, there is a salt room, there is essentially all these different spaces, and it's over in Niles, Illinois.
I love that. I'm going there, and I'm going to visit Georgia just to check this out. But yeah, it sounds like a very similar concept. I think spas, look to imitate this same energy and vibe in their space as well. So that would make sense that it would be the same thing. Joanne, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, just popped over to you. Anyone else?
You were excellent. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Jill, I know Jill plans to share. We can share the presentation with you, or feel free. Like I said, my contact information is up here. If you think of other things, I could talk about this stuff all day. So feel free to email me or to sign up to chat. And I'd love to just get to know all of you better.
Yeah, so we'll plan on sharing this on our social media. And I'm sure Chicago Luxury Beds will also be sharing it as well. So if there's anyone that you think would benefit from this great lecture, definitely share it with them. So thank you so much, Kimberly.
Yeah, Mary Pat, thank you. She's waving from afar. But thank you to Chicago Luxury Beds and Jill and River North Design District, and to all of you guys. It was so great to share this with you, and I really hope this helps. So until next time, have a great night. Sleep well. Bye. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you.